Hi. God, I'm really out of breath. I'm just trying something new. I thought I would begin today, in today's video, with a little dance session. I'm gonna try and do that in every video because I want to reclaim dancing. That is one of my New Year's resolutions. I guess just one of my resolutions for ever is to become more comfortable with dancing again and with not feeling like I'm not allowed to share my dancing stuff just because I'm not a dancer. So, and I am a dancer. So yeah. Anyways, hello. Welcome to my channel. Do you want to see my outfit for today? You can't see the whole thing, but they're super cute. I have been dressing up every day, even though I'm not going anywhere. But you know, I'm just living my life and I'm really tapping into my divine feminine energy, whatever you want to call it. Just the energy of loving yourself and being like, oh wow, I'm actually really cute and I need to be serving looks every time I wake up and get ready for the day, because even if nobody's seeing my outfit and I'm not going out and doing anything, I'm living in the world, which means I need to live in the world in the state that makes me feel empowered. And the state that makes me feel empowered is the version of me that gets dressed up and does what she loves and dances and sings and expresses herself regardless of having a reason. You don't need a reason to look good, you know? Like we all always say, or a lot of women, and just people always say, like, I'm getting dressed up for myself. And it's true, but usually we're also going out and doing something, and so it's for ourselves, but it's also so that we feel good, you know, out in the world. But I'm trying to practice feeling good for myself and just looking good for myself, even if I'm just at home and I have really, literally nothing to do. I'm not going out at all. So, yes. That is just a little thing. I'm literally still catching my breath. I have to go back to my Zumbas. But anyways, I'm here because I have began filming YouTube videos again. I'm really going to be consistent with this and just try and make memories by recording my thoughts and doing things like this. But today I wanted to talk about the full moon in Cancer, because I'm a Cancer and I love being a Cancer, and I've been trying to do my little moon rituals and just honoring, you know, my cycle with the moon and my connection to the universe and connection to the moon and all of that great stuff. So today I thought I would do a little video about how I'm getting in the mood for the full moon. I mean, I'm honestly not doing really much. I just had this idea today, like just now, because I didn't want to film the other video that I was going to film. So I'm going to do this one. But I did pull some cards, and I thought it would be fun if I just shared my thoughts and what I'm doing. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not super well educated on all of the things about the moon and aspects and conjunctions, so I can't tell you any of that. But I can tell you what I'm just picking up off of my own vibes and what's been coming out as I've been shuffling my deck all week long, and just the energies that I've been feeling. And I feel like a lot of people would probably be in the same energy because we are a collective. We're all here on Earth feeling each other's vibes, even if we're not recognizing it as that. So I just wanted to share my energy, some of my energy with you, and also just get this out myself and talk about what I've been feeling, because I'm excited for this full moon in Cancer. I have been really tied to and really wanting to connect more deeply and more authentically with divine feminine energy. I felt a really big pull to honor the great goddess, to honor all of the goddesses in our lives and our inner goddess, and really begin to recognize, I'm trying not to use pronouns, like recognize their strength and their power as something that's critical to our survival and to the well-being of our Mother Earth and of our souls and our spirits and our connections with the universe and all of that. Divine feminine energy is not just something that you tap into, on your vacation when you need a break, or, just on a little spa day. It's something that we should be actively working into our daily lives. It's why we've been seeing so many conversations about, shortening the work week, having longer weekends, having less hours of the day that we're spending working. It is truly a part of the quality of life, and it shows, the difference in how long you live and how healthily and how happily you live, in countries where their employees and people who work in the labor, who are doing active labor to contribute to the financial economy and all of that shit, we see it in their health. We see it in the statistics of who's like the happiest in the world, and it's always in countries where there's all this support that ensures people that they get to relax and live a life beyond working and all of that. So I am just fully in that energy, and it's not always, rainbows and glitter. It's tough, but part of divine feminine is welcoming in the discomfort that comes with stillness, and the discomfort that comes with going into your shadow, going into that darkness. I always kind of consider, well, not always, this literally has just kind of been a new thought, but I feel like winter and fall, and like maybe the beginning times of spring, like endish of fall, winter, and like beginnings of spring, are times when we can really, really activate our divine feminine energy as a time to be held by the universe and do the work that we've been avoiding, or that we just didn't want to do when we were out in the sun and living our best lives and all of that. I think that winter gets a bad rep, fall gets a bad rep, the end of fall when it turns to winter, kind of that transition period. But the colder months, when you're inside and you're kind of forced to be with yourself a lot, gets a bad rep, and that's because we aren't given enough downtime in our daily lives to process all of the energy and the trauma and the experiences, the thoughts, the emotions that we are having on a daily basis, and that we're picking up off of other people as well and about our surroundings. And so that all just kind of comes flooding in during the winter a lot of the time, which is why seasonal depression is so common. And just coming in whenever we have downtime, and it just feels like such a burden, and we're like, oh wow, the first time I get to just lay down, here's all this shit coming up, and my mind's overwhelmed, I'm having an anxiety attack. And I mean, it's completely understandable why we get that way, but it's unfortunate because it makes us not want to be still, and it makes us want to fill up all of our time. And that is why it is so important to shift the narrative around relaxation and shadow work and being alone and darkness and, the dark night of the soul, the heavy periods in your life. Things don't have to be traumatic and depressing, and it doesn't have to be an experience of suffering, doing shadow work and being introspective and being alone and being still, And stillness doesn't always just mean still. Stillness just means allowing yourself to be with you and not fighting it. Allowing yourself to hold yourself and feel all of you and sit with that energy or dance with that energy, but not pushing yourself away. Welcoming that in, merging with your shadow and understanding that your shadow is not some, demon trying to attack you, but rather a part of yourself that just needs more love and needs more attention and needs you to take a break from all of the busy things that are helping you continue to avoid and keeping you in this cycle and keeping you in this loop, and rather giving you the time to sit with yourself and be like, okay, what have we gone through? What are we dealing with? What do we need to heal from? What do I need to talk about? What do I need to get off my chest? What do I need to release? What do I need to cry about? What do I need to scream about? What do I need to break? What do I need to get out of? And that is a very liberating and freeing experience when you get to do that and you learn that it is not always a traumatic experience, that it can be really revitalizing and really healing in a positive way, in a way that actually fills you up, fills your own cup, rather than, feeling like a breakdown, like a tower moment, like, like you're falling over, like falling off the edge of the earth, like rock bottom. It doesn't have to feel that way. It's only that way because it piles up after so long, because we're not given time in our daily lives to just be with ourselves, to be in an energy of receiving. And, receiving is not always receiving light and rainbows and, awesome, beautiful, peaceful things, but sometimes receiving all that energy from your own self that was just pushed down, It's like digging up the well and just kind of letting it all out. That's like an active reception as well. And when you get more comfortable receiving that, then you're able to process it in a way that is not exhausting all the time and doesn't feel like a burden. You're going to want to process that because you know what the end result is. The end result is release. The end result is clarity. The end result is healing. The end result is being able to express yourself and communicate in a better way that helps you strengthen your relationships and function as a healthy, confident adult person, human being. The end result is finding your way back to yourself, healing your inner child, breaking through generational traumas, shifting timelines, completely changing your life. That's what tapping into divine feminine energy and not having the expectation that divine feminine is always just a spa day, but rather a real examination of yourself and an active rebuilding, reconstruction, reimagining, and an active loving of yourself, regardless of how you feel about yourself and what you're not good at and what you should have done and all blah, 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 but loving yourself enough to listen to yourself and to give yourself what you need in order to feel better. That's like divine feminine energy. It's that mothering energy. Sometimes your mom, like with a healthy mothering relationship, sometimes your mom can be tough on you. Sometimes she's like, get it done. Sometimes she's not wanting to listen to your bullshit. Doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Doesn't mean she doesn't care about you. It actually probably means she cares about you a lot because she's not letting you settle. She's giving you her actual opinion and not just coddling you. And she's holding you all the while. She's not pushing you away and making you feel bad about yourself. But she's being honest with you. That's what we need. And I think that Cancerian energy is constantly, being characterized as like the emotional, dramatic, sensitive energy. And maybe, yeah. And, also we get the manipulation thing. And yeah, I understand it. But the incredible thing about Cancerian energy, water energy, that flow, that sinking into the deep well of emotions and allowing it to overwhelm you and flood your life. And it's just like, everything's a dramatic show. It is so empowering when you are able to recognize your emotions, step into your emotions, understand where things come from, and bring resolution, bring closure, bring justice. I have been seeing the justice card everywhere. Justice has been coming out everywhere. Judgment has been coming out everywhere. This is a time where we are all awakening to the lives that we really want and understanding that that is not just a dream, that is something you can actually have. But in order to get there, you need to take action, yes, but you need to love yourself enough to know that you deserve that life. Because we all deserve our dream lives and they are all possible. We can all have it. We can have it all. Like, you can have it. But it's not just about the work that you're willing to put in. It's about how you feel about yourself. And how you feel about yourself is going to dictate how you advocate for yourself and the types of relationships and situations that you let yourself stay in or that you leave because you care about yourself and you know that you deserve better. Or the type of patterns and behaviors that you realize that you need to stop because you realize they're not good for you and they're not good for other people. Like, checking in with yourself and holding yourself accountable and seeking justice for yourself and removing yourself from toxic situations is what also clears the path towards your dreams. Because then it's not just some daydream that you're always thinking about. It is your reality. It's just a little further down the line, and all you have to do is walk there. But if you're all in your head and you're clouded and it seems like everything around you is trying to hold you back and trying to kill you and attacking you, and you're constantly in a fear of anxiety, in a space of anxiety, and constantly in survival mode, just trying to survive not only the outside world, which is harsh enough, but also the internal world where you are telling yourself that you're not good enough, when you're telling yourself that you don't deserve to have this, you don't deserve to be happy, you can't do any better than that, you can't have a relationship like that, you can't have a partner like that, you can't have a home like this, a family like this, friends like this. Like, it's a war on both ends. So how are you supposed to even muster up the strength and the energy to take a step forward when everything is like tying you down to your past and to this energy, this old story that you have of yourself that isn't true and isn't valid? Like, okay, for all of us who struggle with being confident and being people pleasers and drawing boundaries, you know, we think that we aren't deserving of relationships where we don't have to question ourselves and where we don't have to constantly explain ourselves and constantly mold ourselves to other people's will and make other people comfortable. And we think that drawing boundaries and having lines and advocating for what you deserve is disrespectful or mean or is going to make that person not want to be in your life. And you think, oh, well, I can't have anything better. Who told you that? You know, so many of us have experienced bullying and abusive relationships, whether that person you consider bad or not. But we've had abusive friendships, family dynamics, romantic relationships from the moment you get out into the world and begin socializing. And often, because that behavior is not corrected, and especially for a lot of women and women of color, Black women, we're not taught to advocate for ourselves or set boundaries and shown that when you set a boundary, that's okay. Not only is it okay, but it was necessary and incredibly important, not just for you, but for that other person. Instead, we're shamed, and instead we're made to feel like we're being dramatic and that there's no reason to do all that and that we're being extra. And so you just learn that advocating for yourself is not only something that you shouldn't be doing, but it's not a necessity, it's not important, and you're actually placing a burden on somebody else when you advocate for yourself, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so in this new full moon Cancer energy, we need to be taking a full account of our lives, looking at what does not align. This is one of the cards that came out. Align your life. What is not aligned? What needs to change? What is holding you back? What is making you feel like shit about yourself? Get rid of it. If you're following Instagram accounts that don't make you feel good, you look at it and you feel nothing, or you look at it and you feel like crap, and you're like, oh, well, I'm just insecure and I need to stop projecting, unfollow the account. There's nothing wrong with unfollowing the account. Even if it is you feel insecure, okay, so you have every right to not feel that way and to remove what makes you feel that way. If it's a friend and looking at their stuff doesn't make you feel good, babe, you have to unfollow it. And it might feel mean because right now we're at the place where social media feels like the person, like somebody's social media account feels like that's actually them. And so unfollowing them feels like an affront, like an attack. But it's really not. Our social media presences are not who we are. And boundaries means you are allowed to not have things in your space, in your physical or digital space, your energetic space, that makes you feel uncomfortable, that doesn't make you feel safe, that makes you feel triggered. Whether or not that was the intention, whether or not the person is bad, none of that matters. What matters is that you are always protecting yourself and protecting your energy. If something makes you feel insecure, if something makes you feel bad, if something makes you feel triggered, you have to remove it. You have to. It's literally about your survival. Because if you don't, I thought my computer shut down. I was going to be really annoyed. If you don't, you are, first of all, keeping yourself in an environment that is unsafe. Because it is. It's triggering emotions in you that are not healthy for you to be experiencing all the time. But it's also telling yourself that you don't deserve to feel comfortable. You don't deserve to feel safe. You don't deserve to feel confident. So you must put up with and keep all of these things and these energies in your space that make you feel like crap, because you need to make sure that you're always being nice and accommodating to other people. If your friend gets mad at you for unfollowing their account, but it made you feel insecure, and if it made you feel insecure, there's things that we need to unpack about that friendship. There's a lot of connections. People can be great people, and you can have nothing against them, but sometimes you do not vibe on an energetic level, and it doesn't matter what it is. You have to cut ties. You need to draw boundaries with those people. I've been dealing with that all of 2021. It sucked. So I understand where it comes from, and then feeling the need to protect those relationships and to not make anybody feel, self-conscious about who they were to you in that relationship and what happened, and because you don't feel like you have a reason. It's just your gut. It's just how you feel. How you feel is valid. Your gut is valid. Listen to it. It's not just, making you feel anxious and clammy and claustrophobic for no reason. You feel that way. You actually feel that way. Energy is real. Energy is real. Listen to your body. Listen to your heart. Listen to your mind, unless your mind is being over logical. Is that what it's called? Over logical, and trying to make you feel bad for having instincts and trusting your intuition. If you're anything like me, you've ignored your intuition a lot of times because you didn't feel like you had enough evidence to justify you not being friends with somebody, you not going into a certain situation, you not doing a certain job, not living in a certain home, not having somebody as your roommate, all of this. And you always want to be kind, and you always want to be perceived as, open and nice, and all of that is great. It is a beautiful thing to be a kind person and to be open to others and to want other people to feel great and comfortable and safe around you and safe in your presence. But it's not good if it comes at the sacrifice of your own safety, and if it is coming from a place of being over accommodating and a people pleaser rather than a space of genuine, just, wanting this person to feel comfortable because you feel comfortable and you want to be in spaces with them. And I'm not saying this is not a critique on who you are and saying you're just a fake people pleaser, you don't care about anybody, because I've dealt with this and I'm not some asshole who just cares about being liked. It's things that we learn in our childhood. If you're an empath, if you are somebody who just naturally falls into that nurturing role, and, Cancer obviously is an energy where there's a lot of mothering connected to that and a lot of nurturing energy and kind of, divine feminine energy connected to that. You can easily take on that role and feel as though that is all that you are. We see what happens to mothers all the time. You have a child and that child becomes your whole life, and then mothers are just forgotten about and neglected. And so many women, so many people who have children or who just play in that role of the mothering role, experience depression and anxiety and neglect because nobody is caring for them and they don't have the energy to care for themselves because they're caring for these children, or they're caring for their friends, or they're caring for their spouse, they're caring for their family. It's it's too much. Nobody's filling their cup. And these people are not indestructible. Your mother is not indestructible. Somebody needs to let her have a break. You are not indestructible. You need to have a break. You need to, like, take some time for yourself. You need to draw boundaries. You deserve that. You are allowed. And I am not, like, giving you permission. This is something that is innate to you. You are allowed. You are allowed. You do not need to work for your life. You do not need to work to deserve happiness and joy and love and, prosperity and peace of mind, peace of heart, peace in your surroundings. These are things that we all innately deserve because they are things that are literally a part of the universe. These are just things that exist that we all have access to. Nobody is allowed to dictate who has access to that. No. We are all equal members of the universe. Like, nobody is more powerful than you are. Nobody gets to say what you can and can't have. Just because we live in a world where there's capitalism and all of these systems and money and all this bullshit that makes it feel like we're in, like, a game and we're just, like, bargaining for our joy. Like, no. In our actual spiritual reality, maybe not this 3D physical reality, but in the spiritual reality, the real one, and the one that you can actively bring into this world, into this understanding of the world, you are not only deserving, but you must have your peace, you must have boundaries, you must have access to joy, you must have access to freedom, you must have access to your own space, and you must have time to be in that still energy, however that manifests. Still does not mean still, but that time with yourself, that divine feminine energy, that energy of reception where you get to think, where you get to unwind, where you get to really explore, where you get to be creative, where you get to be sensual, where you get to be in your own body, but also your body connected with your heart, your body connected with your soul. And there's no compromising on that. You have the right. You have every right. So yeah, so this full moon in Cancer might be a time that actually is kind of serious. You might be doing a lot of emotional unpacking, going through your baggage, all from 2021 and the past lives, all of that. You might be going through it all and sorting out what's going on. That's why Unbound was there. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. You might be digging all that up, and don't let anybody make you feel like, oh, like, just take a break. Like, you don't need to be dealing with all that right now. No, if you feel called to deal with it right now, deal with it. If you feel called to go over all of these situations and thoughts from the past and blah, 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 deal with it. Don't just push it away. Because yes, do not live in the past and blah, 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 blah. But, like, you do need to manage that energy. It's not going to just disappear. You can transmute it. You can bring up all of these tower moments. You can bring up all of these moments where you needed boundaries, where you didn't have boundaries, and you got yourself into you were stuck in a traumatic relationship, in traumatic friendships, in a situation that was horrible, in a horrible childhood. All of these things, you can move past it, but in order to move past it, you need to be able to transmute that energy because it's still with you. Just pushing it away is not pushing it away. It's actually just pushing it deeper inside of yourself. You don't need to do that. You can release it. And when you release it, you actually just release it into the universe. And then that energy changes into something else. So I would say that if you are feeling called to be very introspective right now, to take action on a lot of that emotional baggage, to do shadow work, do it. And when you actually make the choice to do these things, it does not have to be traumatic. It does not have to be triggering. It does not have to be exhausting. It can actually be extremely, extremely revitalizing and extremely liberating to make the active choice to do these things and ask for help. If you don't have anybody in this physical reality in your environment that can help you, ask for help from your spirit guides. Ask for help from your ancestors. Ask for help from whatever you believe in. If you believe in God, if you believe in Allah, if you believe in just angels, spirit guides, your ancestors, if you just believe in the universe, you just believe in the stars and the moon and the sun, if you just believe in Mars and Pluto, whatever, ask for help. Ask for help from the spirit world safely, ask for help from energies that love and protect you and are divinely sourced, But ask for help. You're not alone. You're never, ever, ever alone. You're never alone. Even going on those YouTube pages, the ones where there's like the different frequencies that they play, or even like rain music, you see the comments under those videos are always so beautiful and pure. It's like the light of the world in those comment sections. Just go on there then. Just go on there and read some comments and comment back. Just, exchange energy. That energy is real. Just because it's on a computer and it feels detached because we're on a screen, like, that's not fake energy. That's real, and that's affecting you. That's why it's always like, you always feel like, oh, in your heart when you see that. Or if you don't feel like, oh, and you feel like, you need to spend some time in that energy. There's a reason why it's triggering you and making you feel like, and like uncomfortable. Spend some time in that energy. I'm telling you, just even writing comments back, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. So, yes, I dropped a card. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, of course I dropped this card. So, the Mother Mary, some might call her the Virgin Mary, but I just don't feel comfortable calling her that. The Mother Mary is one of my spirit guides. Maybe she's one of your spirit guides too. I don't know how many. I imagine a lot. She's an incredible person. But the Mother Mary is one of my spirit guides. She's been coming up a lot. Mary is all about miracles, blessings, but also she's that mothering energy, that nurturing energy. But also, when you think about Mary and her life, she had to have Jesus so young. She really did give a lot of her energy and a lot of her life to this child, and I can't imagine the emotional trauma and the emotional labor that she went through, having to sit back and understand what Jesus was going through. I don't know the whole story of Jesus and like what happened. I don't know what's true and what's not true, but either way, I know that she lived a difficult life and she spent a lot of emotions on other people, and she was very giving to other people. And we can look at her and understand where the need for balance comes in. You can be incredibly gracious, incredibly kind, incredibly nurturing and loving, but also understand that you deserve to say no. You deserve to have your own space. You deserve to be advocated for. You deserve to be taken care of. You deserve to be loved and loved on. You deserve nurturing. You deserve healing. You deserve peace. You deserve ease. You deserve all of that. You need it. And you must demand it. If somebody is not giving it to you freely, demand it or leave. And honestly, if you have to demand it from somebody who says that they love and care about you, leave. Because either they'll show up begging you to be back in their lives and they'll actually put in the work to change, or they'll show that they were an ass and they weren't meant to be here anyways. So, but yes, the Star Mother card. The Star Mother card says, how can you mother yourself? So that's what we were just talking about earlier. Taking on that role of the mother, your inner mother, and that's Cancer energy. Channel the Cancer energy and mother yourself, which means love on yourself, give to yourself, feed yourself, luxuriate yourself, but also discipline. Also call yourself out, also be accountable, be honest with yourself. You can do it. You can do it. You're incredibly strong, incredibly powerful. You would not be here on Earth in this incarnation, in this time. Are you kidding me? If you couldn't handle anything that came your way. The universe does not give us anything we can't handle. It literally just doesn't. It wouldn't make sense. The universe doesn't give us anything we can't handle. Your soul would not put anything on your timeline that you couldn't handle. It just does not. It would not make sense. It would be literally pointless. And why are we doing anything for no reason? No. Like, yes, nothing matters, but also everything matters. So they're not giving you anything you can't handle. If you are in an area of your life right now that sucks and you are feeling like you need to break free, That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You are literally on the right track, and you need to follow that gut that is telling you to get out, that is telling you to lead, that is telling you to set a boundary, that is telling you to cut the cords, that is telling you to stick up for yourself and share your voice. All of that. Do it. Whenever you are feeling the need or being pushed to do something that is challenging and intimidating and maybe even scary, but not in a way that makes you feel threatened, but rather scary because you know it could change your life, change the way that you see yourself, change the way that other people treat you for the better, put you in a position of power where you are leading in your own life, where you are demanding respect, where you are not being constantly walked over and constantly accommodating. That is the energy you constantly need to be following. If you don't feel that energy in your life, and it is because you feel at peace and you feel very joyful and you feel very content, then you need to be sitting in that energy. You need to be allowing yourself to play, allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to live fully and embrace and be in your inner child. If you don't feel that way, but instead you feel uncomfortably comfortable and content in a way that is settling and constantly finding excuses to justify why this is an okay life for you, then you need to be digging into that. Because we never want to be comfortable in a way that is more like settling, right? Because I was talking about this with my sisters just the other day. Being in a miserable life and being discontent is not always uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to your soul, and that's why there's always going to be something pecking at you that you're always trying to be like, leave me alone. But it's not always uncomfortable. Like for me right now, working on eating better and being more active and being more positive, it's quite comfortable to eat like whatever I want to eat and to not get out of bed and to not be positive all the time and always find something to be annoyed about. It's comfortable being like that. It's comfortable in this 3D sense. It's comfortable in it's not always comfortable in my body, but it's comfortable. Like I'm not fighting. It's more uncomfortable to challenge myself to not have something I don't need to eat, to get up and do something, to get dressed, to get out of bed. But then the more you do it, the more comfortable and the more exciting and the more revitalizing it feels. And then you will literally realize that you have shifted a timeline. You've shifted timelines. We do it all the time. Most of the time, if you're not used to constantly loving yourself and advocating for yourself, then you do it when you're pushed to do it. And don't feel bad if you're not used to that, because I wasn't used to that for the longest time and I'm just now getting used to it. I'm just now beginning to do all these things. So don't let anybody shame you and be like, oh, you don't love yourself. It's very hard. It's very hard. Love is the most important emotion. And it is the most beautiful, but it's difficult. It's difficult to find, and it's difficult to create, especially if you were not raised in an environment where love was abundant. And a lot of us were not. And that's because we live in a world that is very, very difficult to live in. We live in a time that is very difficult to live in. And we've been like this for a while. It was not easy for our parents to live in the world that they were raised in as children. It was not easy for our grandparents. It was not easy for our grandparents' grandparents. So there's a lot of family trauma and a lack of love and a lack of joy and a lack of prosperity and movement and peace that is generational. And it is out of most people's control, the type of world that we are being born into, the type of world that our children will even be born into. We are in like an apocalypse right now. And no, nobody says that, but I was talking about it with my sister. We're in an apocalypse. We're in a pandemic. We're going through climate change. The world as we know it is ending. We are never going to be in the energy of 2019 again. That reality is gone. There are some people who will never stop wearing masks. Vaccines are always going to be a conversation. There is always going to be a distance. We are always going to be online. Technology is not going to go away and just stop progressing. robots, all of that shit is like going to be reality. And not like 100 years from now, but like 10 years from now. It's already happening, the metaverse. Don't fight it in a way that causes you to cling on to the past and to prevent yourself from growing and understanding how to engage with these things in a way that can still be fulfilling and still connect you to the earth, still connect you to your higher self, because we are going to need to learn how to adapt. And all technology is not bad. And technology in itself is not bad. It is the way that we use it and what we're keeping in mind and what our intentions are when we are engaging. You know, having access to the digital world right now is important because air quality isn't great. We don't know what it's going to look like to be outside in 10 years from now with climate change. So there is a reason why we are moving online. There's a reason. That does not mean give up on the earth, does not mean do not take care of our planet. It means you need to adapt, you need to shift, you need to find a way to make a life for yourself, to take care of yourself, to sustain yourself in this changing world. We are in the midst of an apocalypse, and we are moving into a very different world than has ever existed for us, for Earth. We are all shifting timelines. People are like, we're ascending, and yeah, we are ascending, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And that is why it's so important to embrace divine feminine energy right now, because the divine feminine represents, as well as peace and rest and rejuvenation, she also represents death. She also represents rebirth. She also represents transformation. And in this winter period of not only right now, but of the earth, of all of us right now, and the universe is watching, the universe is aware. That's why I said, if you came to earth right now, or even in the past like hundreds of years, you're like tough as like nails. You're fucking strong and you can handle anything, because it's not easy to be here during a time of ascension, during a time of shift right now. It's not easy. There's never been a time like this. There's obviously time isn't linear, but you're fucking like amazing to be here right now and to be dealing with this. So don't be so hard on yourself, and take this time to think about what you actually need to do to make sure that you're in a good place for when things really start to get a little shaky, because they're already kind of rough, and we are going through revolutions, and we are going through resistances, and people are actively pushing back against these government systems and against these ways of living and, you know, the standards that we have set, or that, you know, the people in power have set. People are advocating for themselves. People are breaking free. It's the great resignation right now. Like, labor movements are happening. Political, social movements are happening. People are getting together. People are awakening and going through spiritual transformations. If you're being called to do that, don't let somebody make you feel like shit about it and weird about it. Do it. It's for your benefit. You need to have a connection to something beyond yourself and beyond our physical 3D reality. That is the only way we're going to survive what the next few decades are going to look like. We are going to need hope. We are going to need to understand that there is more than just this, than what we see right in front of us, and cling onto that and connect with each other and build a community across all of our digital and physical and whatever platforms in order to hold each other up and to use that energy, because energy is real. Energy is real. It is so powerful, and use that energy to bring as many up to the next level and survive on that level and set a new standard, set a new wave, okay? You are not, a pawn of this system. You are not powerless. You are not without hope. Everything is here for you, and there are others here for you. You are not alone. If you feel alone, I understand, and I want to give you all of the energy and the love that I can so that you can understand that it will not be this way forever. And I want to encourage you to build a really deep connection with your spirit team so that you can begin to be guided towards the people in your life who are here and who are looking for you and want to be around you and want to be friends with you and want to love you and be in your space and be in your energy because they're here. Nobody was sent here alone. Nobody was sent here without a soul family. Nobody was sent here without a soul tribe. Nobody was sent here without their soulmates or even just people that they love. Nobody was sent here without that possibility. That's not possible. Love is fully integrated into everything that we do, and love is like a major characteristic of the human experience. Love is at the essence of your soul. Love is at the essence of the universe. And love is at the essence of the human experience as well. Even if it doesn't feel like that, it is. Okay? And we are all always constantly trying to do things to make other people feel good. I mean, look at the art world. Look at, even this computer, even YouTube. All of these things that might feel like, technology, even social media. There's a part of it that comes from love and wanting people to connect and wanting you to be able to see other things and grow and imagine more and have more possibilities, okay? So you are not without love. And if you feel that way, I'm not going to tell you that that's not valid because I understand. But I want to emphasize that things can get better and things will get better. And with this full moon in Cancer energy, it's time to really be honest with yourself and take a full account of what your life looks like right now and what your life over the past few years has looked like and what you want to change. Because things can change, and in fact, things are going to change, whether you're comfortable with it or not in the next few years. We need to get real. We need to be honest because we are literally in a shift. And we are turning a corner, and there is a lot of this death energy, and she's not going away anytime soon. So we need to become comfortable with the energy of death, with the energy of rebirth, and the energy of transformation, reincarnation, with spirituality, and we need to allow ourselves to be held by the divine goddess at this time because we're going to need it. 1 minute. Wait 1 second, I'm just recording my YouTube video right now.
So how long is that going to take?
Not much longer, like 20 minutes maybe. Okay, bye. That was my sister. We're going to get food. So yeah, like I was saying, we need to become comfortable with endings, okay? We need to become comfortable with change. We need to become comfortable with the uncomfortable. We need to move beyond feeling like we are powerless because you're not powerless. You're powerful. If you were powerless, you would literally not ever be able to break out of any box, any molds that you've been put into. You wouldn't be able to grow. Because everything in your body, all of the energy surrounding you allows you to move forward in your life. Allows you to go and graduate or go and find this job or go and make this painting or go and talk to this person and make these friends. We literally manifest our lives. We literally create everything. All of this is a creation, and all of this has energy. This computer has energy. This video thing, all the pixels, they all have energy. This has 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 energy. We could all see it as incarnations. We are always in communication and always in connection with energy, always in connection with spirit, and always in connection with other spirit beings, other souls. Everything incarnates into everything. Everything plays a role. We all make each other's worlds go round. So in this time, where we are experiencing a lot of shifts and we are going into, you know, kind of death rebirth cycle for the earth, and we are living through that process of change, climate change, and not knowing what will come after that. We really need to find grounding. We need to find grounding in our souls with whatever connection you can create. You know, a spiritual connection, a spiritual relationship doesn't have to mean you talk to angels and you wear crystals and you do things like this. A spiritual connection can mean that you're doing a job that is extremely fulfilling to you and makes you feel loved and fills your cup so that you can spread love. You know, anything that gives you love, that gives you positive energy, that gives you hope, that gives you the ability to move forward and encourages you to bring other people along your path of positivity and love and warmth and push those people into things that they love. That is a spiritual thing. That is a spiritual connection. What we cannot have is people living lives that are unfulfilling and meaningless and make them feel bitter and worn down and hopeless and devastated, because that is the type of energy that in a world that is already going through a death rebirth cycle is not good. It's not going to help you. Death is inevitable. We all know that. I mean, you know that just being alive. You know that you're going to die at some point. And just like death being inevitable, life is inevitable again. And so as we turn the corner with Earth and what we're dealing with climate change, and even in our own lives as we all turn these other corners, like the death process isn't just, dying, life again. Death process is death. It is its own version of life. It is its own experience. What kind of experience do you want to have, okay? Because it's inevitable. We are going through it. In fact, I would say at this like apocalyptic time, we're kind of like right there on the edge. And so as we move into this death state, which is right ahead of us, do not be afraid, okay? You can be afraid. Fear is a natural emotion. Do not let it overwhelm you, okay? And do not think about, we need to start switching the way that we see death, okay? Because death does not mean ending and or doesn't mean like something gruesome and cruel and death is just another type of energy. And unfortunately, we live in a world where a majority of, the dominating societies and the power structures really don't like to teach us about death type energy, don't like us to learn about darkness, and don't like us to understand that darkness is its own energy and it's not necessarily bad. We are not really comfortable with this state of being because it is hard, but we are going to go through it regardless, and we can handle it. We can handle it. We've all experienced life and death a million times. I would really, really, really doubt that anybody incarnating on Earth right now is like it's their first lifetime. I would be shocked. I'd be really shocked if a soul chose to do that. I really don't think somebody would. So you can handle this, but you need to get grounded. You need to find a connection to source. Hope and love is not, non-existent in this world. It's very much here. It's very much present. You can find it. But you need to look. You need to want to find it. You need to want to look for it. And you need to actively bring it into your life by matching that energy. You need to have it within yourself, which is why I said the divine feminine is about going within and building up that self-love, healing your shadow energy, healing that ego, bringing it into yourself, understanding that it is all a part of you, and working with it so that you can create a reality that is not only survivable, but sustainable and enjoyable, okay? Because we can all have that. We can all have that. There is no there's not enough. That doesn't exist. We're in the universe. Things are constantly expanding and recreating, blah, 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 blah. Like everything, there is enough. There's more than enough. There's plenty. We are in an abundant universe, okay? But we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to get grounded. We need to be real with ourselves. We need to draw boundaries. and we need to think positive in a way that is not, it doesn't have to be, oh, yippee, but it does need to be hopeful, okay? You can't think that your life is ending. You can't think that the world is ending and there will never be another. That energy just literally isn't helpful. And I get that everybody needs to be pessimistic sometimes, but like hope really needs to be in there with the emotions that you have. Hope needs to be up there, okay? You need to know that things are going to keep pushing. Things will always move forward. Things will always progress. Nothing lasts forever, which means this death state, this state of change and uncomfortableness and sadness and depression and anger and fear and resentment and regret, it's not going to last forever. And it is necessary because everything informs itself. Everything informs another thing. Joy is informed by that lack of joy, and that lack of joy is not inherently evil or or bad. It's uncomfortable, but it's important because it gives you the time to recognize what you need in your life and what brings that joy back into your life. And when you can heal that and mold that, then you can constantly be experiencing everything and building and progressing and ascending off of that. But ascension is uncomfortable, and ascension requires the death of what was before, right? So we're ascending, so everything before has to die, and then that energy transmutes and builds up this next layer of life that we're going into, not just as people in our own lives, but in the universe. And it's hard, so I'm not even just saying this and being like, da 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 da. Like, I literally have to remind myself every second that this is just like, we're just pushing through, we're just going through the motions. It's anxiety triggering. It's a lot. And you don't have to think about it on that grand scale if that's not helpful for you. If that makes you feel overwhelmed, don't think about it like that. Just literally think about, you have a future ahead of you. You have a purpose. You have something that you came here, you incarnated on this life for. You were not here just to be sad and like in your doomsday energy all the time. You're here to be happy, to experience the human experience. The human experience is not shit, or else Earth wouldn't, like, Earth exists and people come here because it's an incredible place. The Mother Earth is an incredible place. The energy here is incredible. You are so connected to each other. We feel each other's energy all the time. It makes me think of Lyra, which isn't around, I guess, anymore, but what is time? Anyways, starseed stuff. Look into that if you haven't. Look into it because every single one of us are starseeds. I don't know. Anyways, I know I'm throwing a lot into this video that wasn't meant to be. Well, it was all meant to be here because it's coming out, and why would Lemuria come out if it wasn't? And it makes sense that Lemuria's here, and so is the crumbling, and the tower came out. This is like the tower. What are you clinging on to? It came out earlier. What is the alignment? The starseed card was out here anyways, too. So yeah, it's time to get connected, okay? All of the thoughts that you were having, you're like, I feel like I'm not from here, or I feel like I'm different. You probably are. You are. You're not from here, but you're here. You're having a human experience, and this experience is valuable, and you came here for a reason. You're here for a reason, especially at this time. You're not here to just lollygag. Like, maybe you're meant to, like, have a peaceful, joyful life, but that's so that you can have that energy and bring it to other people. We are all in this together. Nobody's alone in this. Nobody's just thriving on their own. Like, we're all here together. All the energy that you have, work with it. Use it to create bonds with communities. Use it to build up your dreams. Use it to free yourself. Use it to make somebody else happy. It's like, we're all in this together. We're all contributing to each other's reality, and we need to do what we can to just make this experience easier for somebody else and easier for ourselves, which means getting grounded, finding connection to whatever love you can find in your life, and building off of that and keep going, but have hope. And I won't even say be positive, just have hope, okay? Have hope. It's going to be okay. I know it sounds really rough. It is rough. But what are we going to do? We're already here. So, and you made it this far. If you're watching this video, then, like, you're doing a great job. Not that, like, if you weren't, you wouldn't be. But you're doing a great job. So just, like, be easy with yourself. But be proactive when it comes to the emotions that you have and the baggage that you want to deal with. Get rid of that baggage. Obviously, energy never dies, but you can transmute it into something that's helpful for you rather than something that's weighing you down. That's all real, y'all. Like, stop questioning it. If something's happening in your body, in your gut, and you're feeling like, I feel weird about this, follow that feeling. Like, it doesn't exist for no reason. Your intuition is real. It's not just a few people out here who are psychic. We're all psychic. We're literally, it's just about, that's just what it is to be a soul. We all have spiritual gifts. We are all spiritual beings. We're all spiritual, whether you believe in anything or not. Like, spiritual isn't connected to religion or anything like that. It's just the fact. Like, you have a soul. You reincarnate. You have different lifetimes on different planets or on Earth in different timelines. Like, we're all connected, okay? So, like, there's not even really a reason to try and act like this isn't real anymore because we're just wasting time. What we need to do is fight against these people in power, these negative energies, and not even negative in a way where everything's, I don't believe in a hierarchy of energies where there's like low vibrational and high vibrational. I don't believe in that because I don't like hierarchies. And I feel like as much as we are learning from the universe and blah, 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 the universe is also learning from us, okay? Earth beings and the experience that we have on this planet is so fundamental to shaping how we want to exist in the spirit world and how we want to interact with the spirit world every time we incarnate. I personally, I won't speak for anybody else, but this is a very difficult energy to live within. It's extremely suffocating. All of these materials, love them because everything is life, everything is energy. So like this is like the incarnation of some type of energy, right? So this has value, this has meaning, this is alive. Everything is alive, but it's suffocating and it's very difficult to push through all of this to connect with the universe. And it's hard to just be like, oh, have faith, oh, be positive, blah, 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 blah. It's not helpful. And so if you don't want to keep having shitty lives, then part of this experience is also acknowledging that yes, there's a spirit world and blah, 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 but acknowledging that you have power as an individual human being, as a spirit incarnating as an earth being on this planet. You have a power and you have a say in the way that we continue to engage with reincarnation and engage with expansion beyond Earth, but just in the universe. We get to say how these things go. People don't deserve to constantly be re-experiencing traumas and constantly having to fight to connect with their ancestors and their spirit guides and blah, 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 blah. Like, it doesn't have to be this hard. And it's this hard because there's such a disconnection and there's always that, oh, nothing matters. So like nihilism and blah, 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 blah. But that's just not true because things do matter, or else we wouldn't have things like mental health struggles that lead to somebody not being here anymore because of that. That should never be a thing. It should never be so hard to exist on this planet and to be alive that you don't want to be alive anymore and you're like, it's not your time. That should not ever be a reason somebody has to go. That should never be a reason for somebody to incarnate again, because then you're also carrying the trauma of that into your next life. And now that's past life trauma. And if you don't believe in past life because we live in a world that doesn't allow people to connect with spirituality in a way that doesn't have to do with religion or doesn't make you feel like you're all woo-woo, then you don't get to understand that, and then you just think that something's wrong with you. It's really cruel. It's really cruel. It's really unfair. Not everybody who is spiritual or who wants to understand these things is like a guru or somebody who likes to wear flowy pants and like me and or like anybody else. We're all different. We are all process things differently, and we all think about things in a different way, but it doesn't mean those people don't deserve to have access to this information. It's fundamental. It's fundamental to your survival, not only as a person and this experience, but as a soul. It's not fair. So if you don't like the way that it is on Earth and how shitty and how hard it is all the time, and yes, we're trying to keep high vibes and be positive or whatever, but like, let's not be delusional. It's very difficult to be on this planet. It's very difficult. So we have the right to advocate for ourselves and let that experience be known to the spirit world and change the way that things work. There's a dynamic in everything. Nothing, it's not like the spirit world is just like this, da, 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 da. It's crazy up there. It's crazy in outer space. It's violent, like my sister was talking about. There's like asteroids. It's cold. You freeze to death. We couldn't go out there just in our bodies. We literally freeze. It's hard, right? And there is no like, oh, well, I wonder how that feels. And you're just like, well, your feelings are whatever. And when you die, it'll just be, no. Because then you reincarnate and you carry that with you. So like, hey, we are all spirits, okay? And you have the power to be like, oh, I actually don't think this is the way that we should keep doing things. So this is about being on earth and advocating for yourself and talking and tearing down these systems of oppression. But this is also about advocating for ourselves as spirits and what kind of incarnations we want to have and how we want to carry the energy that comes with every incarnation. Because trauma is not always, the level of trauma that we experience is not necessary. You don't need that level of trauma. It's because we are constantly expanding. There's a lot of energy, and energy doesn't die, so it's just here. And we're not allowing that energy to take a break and to transmute into its death cycle. We just keep expanding and creating new things. It's just like trying to live forever. And there is a death that is necessary. Not only a death, like we all have to die. You would not want to live forever as a human being. That would be fucking trash. But a death that is needed on like a universal level. We need to just like slow down. We need to embrace the divine feminine. We need to be still in a way that is just receiving all that we've created and all that we deserve. We don't need to create anything. Like, we can just pause for a moment and understand what death is truly like, because we have just been so heavily in this like masculine energy. And I'm like not thinking about gender at all, but just because these are the terms that we have. And I don't even think it's just two energies. I think this is the language that I have to talk about this. But we've just been in this energy of create, expand. And this is on a human level. We do that. You see how quickly we've expanded from 100 years ago to now. Crazy advancements, incredible advancements. But we could slow down. And it's the same thing, like, as above, so below. Everything's a reflection. So what's happening on here on Earth, what we are dealing with, this magnitude of energy, it's like intense when you think about the universe. And there is this overemphasis on the creating and the masculine and the building and the expanse. Like, that's all so valuable, so incredible, so important. But there is value, and there's immense value in not doing all of that and stopping and embracing death and whatever that could mean. There is such thing as a peaceful death, and we don't even really know what death energy is like, because as human beings we forget our deaths, like our previous deaths, or maybe you remember them but you don't know what it's actually like to die and then stay in that death until you reincarnate again. Some people might, because you really are connected and you have access, so you have memories and blah blah blah, but I don't think any of us, I'm just going to say I don't think any of us, at least I don't, know what that energy is really like. That's why it's so hard to surrender. And it's always a thing that everything is telling you to do. Just surrender. Just let it be. That's that death energy, but it's so hard to do. And on an earth level, we're all fighting to try and do that. But then on a universal level, imagine telling the universe to let itself die. Like, that's what we're trying to do, at least from my perspective. That's what we're trying to eventually move towards. That's a big ask. That's incredibly hard, because, like, who are you telling, like, how are you getting the entire universe? But I know I'm saying a lot, but, and I just feel a little bit insane. Oh, it's 444. I knew it was 444. Can you see that? I don't think you can. I'm sorry. Well, it's 444. I'm filming on my computer, so you can't really. Oh, there you go. That's my nephew. Anyways. Yeah. So imagine telling the universe to die. And it's because we don't honor divine feminine energy and what that energy means, whether it's a, divine feminine, like I said, detach it from gender and detach it just from being this single energy also, because I think it's a multitude of things. But because we don't honor that type of thing, we just keep pushing to expand. Reincarnate, immortality, creation. But there is a goddess energy, and there is a God. There is the ability for God, for goddess, for spirit, for universe, for spirit guides, for angels, for us, for everything, for energy to just slow down and to stop. To stop. Because stopping isn't stopping. Stopping is an action within itself. Rest is an action within itself. Death is an action within itself. It is not the end. There is no end. There is no end. But there is something else that we could be experiencing, and it doesn't have to be horrible. Because we all know we experience death all the time. I think that human beings, that's why Earth is such an important place, and it's such an important experience to have, because we understand death and transformation and change very intimately. It's also a reason why we all have a lot of trauma, because a lot of us don't get to experience death in the divine feminine way, which is not painful and suffering, but rather we experience it with a lot of trauma. A lot of our ancestors have experienced death with a lot of trauma attached to it, which is why we have all of these energies around something cold, around something negative, around something dark, around something death, around anything like that is always given this specific energy. And it's because it comes with all of this trauma that is actually piled on from constant movement, constant need to create, constant need to expand, constant need to be doing something, taking over something, moving something, being integrated into something. We do not allow the space to just, breathe out and pause. And it's really, really, really necessary that we get into that and we begin to understand that energy. It's very important because it's coming. Like we said, death is inevitable. And I'm trying to say this in a way that does not sound like we're all gonna die, because that's not what's gonna happen. You always see in the apocalypse movies, I'm not saying that that's what it is, that's not what it is, but you always see in the apocalypse movies, not everybody's dead, there's always people who have survived. Or in that one episode of Love, Sex, and Robots, there's the robots that survive. The robots are energy too. Technology is energy. It has a life of its own, and it will be a part of our society as counterparts. And I think that's why humans are so afraid, because we don't have anything we don't have anything to threaten and challenge us in the way that our great ancestors did, that were battling bears. We don't have that anymore. So now it's aliens, or robots and blah, blah, blah. But we are all aliens, and robots are the incarnations of other aliens or souls. Your soul is an alien. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to learn to deal with that and integrate them into our society and not be oppressive and not be assholes. So check yourself. And I'm talking to myself too. But anyways, yeah. Embrace that death energy, okay? It's not scary. I mean, it is scary, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all. It's not destructive. It doesn't have to be destructive, and it can be really powerful. It can be groundbreaking. It can be life-changing, life-altering. You are magical. You are a spiritual being. You are the priestess. You are the priest. You are the you are the starseed. You are whatever you want to be. Coming from a place of power, of love, and of hope, you are incredible. You can change the world, you can change the universe, you can change your reality. You can, and you will, if you believe in yourself and you love yourself enough to know that you deserve better, and to know that we all deserve better. So I'm right there with you, supporting you. We're gonna be okay. It's a rough time. Don't let anybody tell you that you have nothing to be exhausted about or sad about. We are so connected to each other's energies. I believe it was on Lyra that you felt each other's energies. Like you knew that something was happening to somebody else, or like another, I'm saying somebody, like they're people, but they weren't people like on earth. They were their own beings. But like you knew what was happening to something else all the time. Like it was just very like connected, almost telepathic. And on some level, human beings, even just all of us right now, are like telepathic, and we do understand what's happening to each other constantly. And especially when you're actually close to people, we pick up on that all the time. I think like almost, I believe that like a lot of us are empaths, and that's why it's a lot, because nobody understands boundaries and nobody knows, and it's just so much energy that you're carrying all the time. Even if you were literally all alone, you would still feel things, because everything is energy. Everything is giving off some type of vibe, and especially if it's been with somebody else, brought by somebody else, other people's intentions, it's all everywhere. It's exhausting. So don't let anybody tell you that this is not very hard. Even if you have the easiest life, it's still going to be hard, okay? So it's okay. Let yourself experience that. Really begin to connect with your spirit team if you can. They want to help you. They love you. They care for you. It could literally just be your grandma who passed away. It could be your parent. It could be your sibling. It could be anybody. It could be anything. Your ancestors. If you don't feel comfortable talking to angels or to gods or goddesses or spirit or universe, whatever, you talk to the trees. You could talk to anything. You talk to Mother Earth. Like, you could talk to yourself, and you'll still be talking to a spirit, to the spirit being, okay? Because even you yourself have had other timelines, other lifetimes, other experiences, and so you'll be getting guidance from your higher self, talking to yourself, right? Just try to connect, try to build a relationship, and ask them about this death energy that I'm talking about, okay? Because I think that it'll make you feel better. It makes me feel better when I talk about it, and I don't have to carry it all on my own, and I know that it's not leading to the end all for everything. It's just a change, and it's a scary change, but it's necessary. And yeah, and do what you can to be hopeful and to bring love into your life and into other people's lives. Where you can give love, give love. It doesn't have to be anything big. Hold the door for somebody. Like, tell somebody you thought their earrings were cute if you thought their earrings were cute. Watch somebody's video and like it. Leave a nice comment. Like, you don't have to give money and things like that. Donate your clothes. Like, give what you can. Your energy is so valuable, and it means a lot. So if you can give your energy, and know that you're never running out of energy. Obviously, we need to refill our cup and replenish ourselves and rest and all of that to regain energy. But you are, boundless. You're abundant. You're abundant with energy. Sometimes you're being dominated by negative energy, and that can be a lot. But when you have a balance, then you feel grounded and you feel at peace, and then you realize that you can give to others and still be giving to yourself. And when you give to others, it is giving to yourself. Everything is reciprocation. Karma is constantly happening, no matter what we're doing. So, yes, I told my sister 20 minutes, so I really do need to go. But I'm so glad I got to say all this. I think I might make another video on this death energy and understanding its connection to the divine feminine, the great goddess, whatever you believe in, whatever type of energy that matches divine feminine energy in its definition that I'm talking about. If you connect it to something else, and remember, it does not have to be connected to gender, but if you just connect it to another word or another understanding of something, just honoring that type of energy and really sinking yourself into it and understanding it within the context of darkness and within the context of death. We want to really shift our understanding and our definition around death and darkness. That's something that we should be working on in this lifetime and in this period in the universe, not just in not just right now, but just for the universe. So, you're not alone in this. I really do think that everybody, every soul, all types of energy, no matter what planet you're on, no matter what star system you're in, everybody needs to be doing this, okay? Because we can't do it alone. But yeah, that's why the human experience is so beautiful, because it's really helping us become acclimated with death in a way that, as traumatic as it can be, it can also be positive, and it can be you can gain a lot of awareness from it. So, yeah. I'm gonna go. I have to go. But I'm so glad I made this video. I was trying to film something like this for a while, but I didn't have the time. But I guess I had the time today. So, I'm going to put all my cards away. I just wanted to say that yes was out here, which to me was confirmation of this entire message, and it came out before I even delivered the message. So, yeah, take care of yourself, okay? Do some dancing, love on yourself, draw those boundaries, right? Just recognize your power. At the bottom of the deck, the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And behind that, inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. When I tell you we're all light workers, okay? Get yourself a tarot deck. Get yourself an oracle deck. You don't need to post readings on YouTube or do it professional. You don't have to tell anybody that you're doing it. Just get one. Okay? Transformation came out. I was trying to get it. And leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. Right behind that, or at the bottom of the deck, mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Releasing soul patterns. Yeah. It's all coming together. Intuitive hints, soul tribe. Y'all, I'm telling you. Get a tarot deck. Get an oracle deck. Create your own. Get something that taps you into your intuitive energy. Okay? And begin working on that. You don't need to buy anything, actually. You can literally just start doing meditations. Meditation does not mean you sit still. You can be dancing while you're meditating. I did that all the time. You can be cooking. You can be singing. Sing. Do things that you love. Do things that get you into an energy that feels euphoric, that feels similar to when you were as a child, but very happy as a child. If you had childhood trauma, try and work on some inner child healing by pinpointing certain emotions that seem to dominate in your life and tracing those back. Figure out specific memories that you have associated with those emotions and trace them back to where that comes from and talk about it. Write it out. Talk out loud. Sometimes I channel just by talking out loud to myself. Actually, that's how I channel a lot of the time, conversations with my spirit guides, because I don't just hear them in my head. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything in my head. It's kind of like a silent voice. If you have that experience, I feel like you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you do hear voices, I'm not diagnosing anything. So if you do hear voices, that might be your spirit guides, right? We don't know, let me not get into that. But anyways, oh my God, yes, okay, see, the initiation came out, so, and we are going, and look at that darkness, the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. That threshold that I'm talking about, you guys, is that death energy, and it's not like we crossed the death, now we're into new life again. No, we're crossing into death, and we're going to be in that death state. That death state it does not need to be scary, it does not need to be bad, it's not evil, it's not bad. It's dark, it's heavy, yeah, but let's change our connotations and our definitions around that as well. It's not bad. Darkness, heaviness is not bad. Discomfort is not bad. It just is what it is. But it's energy that is important, or else it wouldn't exist. It's energy that must exist. Everything has an opposite, and that opposite does not need to be bad, right? What is bad? You know what I mean? So I split the deck. So first I split the deck, and there was the Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Sisterhood of the Rose. Sometimes I need to split the deck and the cards just come out. Beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. You're all spiritual beings, and you all have spiritual gifts. Channel that spiritual gift. Keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. Even if you feel like you can't find connection with any of your own ancestors, you have ancestors from other lifetimes. You have star ancestors from your starseed lifetimes on other planets. You can connect to other people's ancestors. If you have a best friend, you don't like your family, you don't like your ancestors, but you have a best friend, you probably have shared ancestors with them, which means we're all each other's ancestors. yeah, so there was the beauty of the rose. Find a community, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, find your fellow witches, find your fellow oracles, trust the niggle, that's your intuition. I'm sorry, I'm just splitting the deck. Anyways, at the top of the bottom of the deck was Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising, you are the oracle. You don't need to go to anybody else for a reading to understand your own energy. Readings are for confirmation. You know yourself. You know your own energy. You see, that's why, yeah, you are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. You already know this. Everything I'm saying is confirmation. Like I told you, I don't know any of you. I'm not saying anything that is new to you. Whatever I'm telling you, you already know. Say yes. And that's why I wanted to show you this, because I wanted to show you that yes came out again. Confirmation of everything. This could also just be a yes for whatever is happening in your life that you need to say yes to. Oh my god, it's so grainy. I'm sorry. I'm filming on my computer. Warrior woman. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? Play. Don't be too serious. Have fun. Celebrate. Celebrate yourself a lot more. We need things to be joyful about. We need things to laugh about. And I showed you trust the nickel. Okay, break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. Okay? Do your healing. It doesn't have to be, like, traumatic and difficult. It can just be a nice little dance around the living room as you talk to yourself and work out your emotions. Like, let's go. It's okay. Embrace this full moon in Cancer energy. You see, this full moon in Cancer energy has me in my mom bag. I'm, like, yelling at you guys, and I'm like, do this, do that. It's, and at the bottom of the deck, I shuffled it, and it says, and the bottom of the deck is yes. And I'm not going to split the deck, even though I feel so called. I love splitting the deck. Oh, okay, I did. Keepers of the Earth. Final reminder, you're not alone. Connect with your ancestors. At the very least, connect with your ancestors. And trust your path. Because you know what? They're always like, they're always demonizing connecting with your ancestors, talking to ghosts. That's why they make you feel bad. No. Connect with your ancestors who love you, okay? Who love you, specifically. Sometimes we don't know. You know, we're all energies and we all have our baggage, so just... You know what? Let me pull one. I'm going to pull one card from Earthcraft. I love pulling cards. I love shuffling. I can't help it. I'm like, let me get y'all some more energy. Let's pull one more card. This is from Earthcraft. I totally neglected this deck for a while, and I think it's because I wasn't ready for her. She always gives me the raw, the real. Medicine woman. Healer. Can watch what you're putting in your body. Watch what you're putting in your body, and that's energy-wise as well. Food, because food controls how you feel. A lot of the time, it's a huge contribution. Spirit Weaver, you are innately connected to spirit in your body. These are what are these? Your chakras? These are your chakras. You're innately connected. Don't deny it anymore. There's no reason to. It's a waste of your time. Transform with the raven, wild winds, listen to the earth, go outside, go for a walk. I know it's cold, put on a jacket. Spirit of the East. I don't remember what this is. Oh, Spirit of the East, balancing your spirituality with practicality. Your mind is not like some useless thing that, you know, is like trying to hold you back. And I feel like once we get into our intuition, we're like, don't listen to your mind, but like balance for everything, okay? Use your logic tied to your intuition. Allow your intuition to inform your logic, okay? It doesn't need to be separate. Sight of the Owl and soul loss. Soul loss is what I was kind of talking about. As it's about healing, it's about transmuting energy, it's about working through that baggage, that past life, understanding that transformation can be hard, it can be sad, it can be difficult, but it's so important. It's so important. You don't ever want to stay the same. You see things that stay the same, and they don't even stay the same, they just deteriorate. They experience death, because change is death. So when you embrace change, then you experience death in a way that is actually very beautiful. But when you refuse to change, you're not refusing change. Change happens regardless. You just change in a way that is killing you, rather than you just changing and transforming. You understand what I'm saying? That's death too. Everything informs the other. That's death too. But that type of death that's not the type of death we want, okay? And that's why I'm saying learn about death, understand it so that we can embrace it and see it in a beautiful way, because death is inevitable. So when I say it's inevitable for human beings, it's inevitable for human beings. So live a good life, be happy, be joyful as much as you can, make the most of what you have, and be kind to other people, so that that death process does not have to be triggering and traumatic, and you don't have to come out of it with a bunch of trauma shit. You know, it's the same for the universe. Let's embrace death. Let's go into it not fighting and, you know, I want to still create, I want to still do this and expand. And let's just let our mom hold us. Let's let that divine energy, that divine feminine, however you experience and define that, let that energy be with you. Don't fight it. There's no need to fight it. Sight of an owl. Like I said, we're all psychic. You can see beyond this current situation. You can see beyond this 3D reality, and you know that there's more. So don't even try to tell me that you don't. You know that there's more to all of this. Your dreams are a perfect example. Listen to your dreams, but like I said, see beyond this current situation. Begin to build a life for yourself that you can find joy in if you were to lose a lot of the things that you feel like you might lose. Because like I said, we're all psychic, and we all are aware of, oh God, I really do have to go, of what's going on, right? Medicine woman, warrior woman, death, drought, prayer, ivy, spirit of the south. Spirit is talking. Warrior woman, you're powerful when you are going into the fight, because fighting isn't inherently bad. You fight for what you deserve. You fight for what you want. You fight for revolutions. You fight for freedom and liberation. Go towards that fight from your heart space. Don't go towards it from a place of anger and hatred. Go to it for a place of love for your community, for who you're fighting for. Love for them that pushes you into this fight, not a hate for the people that you're fighting against, because that's just not great energy to have. It just isn't good for you. It's not good for you. You might be able to give that energy to them, and you're like, ha ha ha, but you're holding a lot of that energy inside your own heart, and it's wearing you down. That's why a lot of activists and people who care about social issues get burnout, and then you can't do anything for years because you're just exhausted, or you become numb to a lot of the things that used to be like invigorate you into action because you're so exhausted. And it's because we have to carry so much energy that is traumatic and trauma informed, and it's energy that comes from struggle and suffering and a lot of pain and sadness, and those things aren't inherently bad, but it's difficult to carry a lot of it, and nobody should have to carry a lot of that without any relief or justice. Okay, death energy. What can I say? We've been talking about, of course, death is number 7. Of course, death is 7. I consider 7 to represent Cancer anyways. It's the Chariot in the tarot deck, which is Cancer energy, but of course death came out, and of course she's 7. Then we have drought. Okay, we have prayer, whatever praying means to you, whatever form of prayer you have. Spirit of the South, action is coming regardless. What I said, death, drought, all that coming regardless. Drought can just mean, what do you need to release? What do you need to go without? What can you go without and still survive on? Okay? You're going to make it through. You're going to be fine. Ivy is all about love. What I said. Activate from your love, from your heart space, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be more than okay. You're going to be joyful and beautiful, because divine feminine energy is, as much as it is about death and change and transformation and rebirth and all of these things, it's also about luxuriating, love, sensuality, sexuality. Feminine energy gives birth. Feminine energy creates life. What are you talking about? Like, y'all, we can have it all. Death does not have to be bad, okay? Death is great. Don't they call orgasms the little death? And an orgasm is fucking incredible. You want to have orgasms. If you're not having orgasms, maybe that's something you should also work on. Work on your self-pleasure. Work on your self-love. You deserve to have fantastic sex. You deserve to have fantastic masturbation. You deserve, oh my God, romance and connection. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Like I said, orgasms are called the little death. Yes! Ah! Yes keeps coming out, y'all. And at the bottom of the deck, take action, take charge, and behind that, what's behind that? Oh my God! Well, what was behind that was joy and contentment, but then expecting miracles. My favorite card, also I feel like representation of Mother Mary, but expect miracles. I'm telling you. So this is on all fronts. Your goal for January, your goal for this full moon could literally just to be to give yourself a fantastic orgasm. Whether you have a partner with you who can do that for you and you can do that together and like congratulations, or you're on your own solo dolo. I'm here. A lot of people are here doing that. Do it. Have a fantastic orgasm. You deserve it. Learn about death. Learn about your spirit team. Learn about who can be there for you and support you and love on you because you deserve love and you will have love. Heal. Oh, what a beautiful reading. Ground yourself, earth and ground. Yeah, honesty and communication. Yeah. Y'all. Okay. The last card I'm not pulling any more cards. But whatever this card is, the last one that lands on, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just so into this energy that I have right now. I'm so happy about it. I love making videos when I get to be like this and I just get to talk. I'm going to talk some more about sexual healing and, embracing pleasure and that aspect of divine feminine because we all deserve. Oh, of course. Okay, so sticking out. Okay, so sticking out the most is she's transformation. Got her all the time at the beginning of this deck when I was working with this deck. Transformation. We already know what that's about, and I'm not even gonna go over it again. I don't have time. Self-acceptance. What was I talking about? Self-love. What was I talking about? What else is trust the universe? Got your back. Universe knows that she needs to die. Universe knows that we need to take a break. We need to embrace death energy. It's just hard because the universe is created by all of us and we are all here building the energy that will eventually lead to an ending and embracing that death energy. And so in order to help the universe take a break, allow the universe to sit in that death energy, embrace the divine feminine, we need to help her do that. We need to help the universe do that, okay? So we need to all work together. That's why I said we're all in this together. Courage and bravery. Be strong. Be brave enough, be courageous enough to advocate for the life that you want and the life that you deserve. To ask for that fucking orgasm. Not ask for it, demand it. And if somebody's not able to give that to you, they're not meant to be your sexual partner because we are all capable of having orgasms and we all deserve it. I don't know how I got into a conversation about that, but it is what it is. Sacred plan. What's behind that? Joy and contentment, take charge and action. And at the bottom of the deck was expect miracles, y'all. The sun has literally gone down. Expect miracles. And what is moon energy? Divine feminine energy. Cancer energy. I think also Pisces energy, but Cancer energy. Anyways, I really, 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 really hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic year. I hope that you get your orgasm. I hope that you get your new job. I hope that you find your new passion. I hope that you get love. You will get it. You will get it all. Speak to your spirit guides. Speak to your ancestors who love and care for you. Develop that relationship with yourself. Love on yourself.